Hey guys, welcome to the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour with your hosts, Derek and Jade.
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in and welcome to episode number 4 of the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour. Again, my name is Derek with DP Films Productions.
My name is Jade with Jess's Promised Events. Today we have an awesome guest for you guys, Audrey with Mixed Events, a wedding bartending company on the Central Coast that will add that extra to any event. Their main goal is to take away all the stress of preparing that perfect customized bar, responsibly serving your guests, and pouring beautiful, delicious drinks that keep your guests smiling.
That's right. This is going to be a great episode. Audrey shares how she went from a 9-to-5 bartending job to becoming a badass entrepreneur, taking the wedding industry by storm. So grab a drink, take a seat, and let's get to it. What's up, Audrey?
What's up?
How you doing?
I am fantastic.
All right. Thanks again for being a part of our show.
Of course.
Yeah. So we always like to introduce, the vendors that are part of our show to our listeners. So if you could just give everyone kind of an idea of what you do, who you are, and how long you've been in the industry.
Well, I am Audrey. I own Mixed Events Bar Service. So we've been around since 2018, probably spring of 2018 is when we first launched, but we officially went live, if you will, went active towards the end of the year.
Nice.
That's when we started promoting ourselves. So it's a lot of fun. We have a really good time doing private bars for various events.
Oh, heck yeah.
Corporate weddings, whatever. A little bit of everything.
That's what I'm talking about. So when and how did you get started? So was it 2018, but how did you get started? What got you into it?
What inspired you?
Yeah, what inspired you?
Gosh, so much.
Go on. Tell us the stories.
So I actually went to college. When I moved from Texas to here a few years ago, I moved here to finish school. And I did that. I finished school. I got my degree and then realized I hate office jobs. I cannot be stuck in a cubicle. You guys know me a little, so know I am a talker and I am a butterfly. So I cannot be stuck in a cubicle.
No way.
Can't even picture that.
No.
Me neither.
So yeah, imagine my surprise when I was like, oh, sweet. And I got hired actually the day after I graduated college. I got picked up by a company in SLO and started working for them. And I did that for a little bit. And on top of just realizing that didn't bring me joy, I also injured myself because I bartended through school. That's how I put myself through school and supported me and my kiddos. But I ended up injuring my neck the very last week that I worked at the bar. So going through this into the medical field and working in there, I kind of realized ooh, this hurts, and I ended up having to take some time off because of that. And that time at home was so precious because I got to spend a lot of time with my kids and with my husband. And a lot of time reflecting and thinking about what I want to, do with myself. Where do I go from here? Yeah. And nothing made me happier than serving people and getting to talk to new people, meet new faces, and the bartending, the type of bartending that I like to do, I can't do in a regular bar. Yeah. So it was kind of I do this in my kitchen all the time. I can do this. And then I researched some local companies around here, and I reached out to a really good friend of mine, Tim Lopez. And
Tim Lopez, Modern Symphony.
Yeah, I kind of talked to him about my, you mean laptop symphony,
laptop.
Right? I talked to him about it and was this is what I think. And this is what I want to do. And he was like, yeah, you can do it. You can. And he believed in me from the jump. And I really appreciated it. He gave me some really good ideas as far as getting into the wedding industry. And I ended up talking to Anissa from Bottles and Ice. 2 months later, she reached out and wanted to meet. We met up at Starbucks and had a little chat. And she's kind of been I guess, silent mentor. I wouldn't call this a silent, but kind of like that. She kind of gave me a lot of guidance and a lot of advice. And I took everything that I heard from them too and just kind of ran with it. Went and got my business license.
That was all before you started.
Before I started. Well, I had when I talked to Anissa, I had just gotten my business license like a few weeks before that. And I had done one wedding, small gig, and got kind of a taste for it. Was like, I can do this.
Probably had a lot of questions for her too.
Oh, yeah.
You got hooked.
Yeah.
I want to just swing back a little bit. What was the first bar that you worked at that got you, into the bar scene?
The bar here that I worked at was at the Santa Maria Inn, inside the tap room and inside the wine cellar. So
Good bar.
I started out with the wine cellar, and it was more quiet and more slow. So it kind of gave me an opportunity to educate myself on all the wines around this area, the different flavor profiles of everything. So it educated me that way. And then I started making like these special martinis downstairs. And I kind of got in trouble for it a couple times because they were like, hey, that's like alcohol, man. And I'm like, taste it.
Yeah.
Like this needs to go on the menu. Like this is great.
I love all of your creative concoctions.
Yeah, I was about to say, go on.
Yeah, because I'm not even a liquor drinker. I can't even smell liquor, but your drinks are delicious.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I try hard, and there's a lot of failures, I'll tell you that. Like, it's a lot of mad scientist moments in my kitchen of, let me put a little bit of ginger in this. Let me put a little bit of star anise. Let me try this. Let me try that. And a lot of them are like, ooh, no, that did not work well. But
yours are
the
smooth.
final product is amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't even tell that there's like alcohol in it.
Yeah, some of them are scary. Some of them are dangerous.
Whoa.
But I'm pretty good about warning you ahead of time. Like, this tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah,
Like, take it slow.
So that's awesome that you got the tips from Tim. And you got the advice from Anissa, that they got you in there. And it looks like they got you into the right path because I'd like to bring up that you actually won, the CCWP's Best New Vendor Award. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Wait, let me see. Do I have this in here? Let's see here. Oh, let's try it. Oh, can you hear it? There it is.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel being a part of that and just like winning that award?
That was like one of the most humbling moments, like for me, because it's funny. A few people when we were there, when we showed up to the ring ceremony, were like, oh, how's it feel? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm not even sweating it. Like, I'm not going to win. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about it. Look who we're up against. Like, these people are amazing. Like, they're fantastic people, and they work just as hard as I do. Mm-hmm. So I didn't see myself ever winning that. And in fact, my husband, when we got there, he was like, do you have a speech written? And I'm like, no, I don't need any speech. Like, I'm not going to win it. We're good. And then when they called out our name, I was like, just bawling like a baby. Like, wait, are you serious? Are you serious? And I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay, I should not have won this. You guys are amazing.
You completely deserve it.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I tried to give away the award that night a couple times. It was like, no, you need it. You deserve it.
That just probably made your like heart just like full of warmth, being up there.
It really does. It really does. And it was kind of humbling. Well, it's definitely humbling, but it was a bittersweet moment because my in-laws, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they were my biggest supporters. I mean, they believed in me 100% from the beginning. No matter when I doubted myself or I thought, oh man, this isn't taking off like I wanted to, whatever. Like, they believed in me. They just constantly fed me words of support. So when I won that award, I was a little sad that they had just, that we had just lost them a little bit before that. And I was like, man, they would have loved this. They would have.
In your head,
in
your head, this is for you guys.
Yes. And I actually posted something on Instagram after that and was like, thank you. Like, they are the reason that I stuck to this. I mean, my husband's super supportive, but to come from his family is like my family is supportive. They are very, very much. But, they took it to that next level of always calling me every single day. Yeah. And every event, they were like, how'd it go? Did you take any pictures? Let me see. It was just that excitement that they had that made me more excited.
Exactly. And I just wanted to bring that. That's really, really huge. Being an entrepreneur and any kind of business you're in, just having that support, because we do have those moments where just like,
can I keep going? Yourself. Yeah,
that's huge. It's really good to have support from family, friends, whoever.
Yeah, that's definitely. Huge. And even the community, just each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, letting each other know, like, you're doing a good job. Hey man, this was great. Reaching out to each other. That's
That's collaborations along the way.
Yeah, it's priceless. It's priceless. Like you guys, I met you guys at my very, very, very first shoot. I had no idea what I was doing. I think I drove Jade crazy.
No, not at all.
Because I had no idea.
A lot of the legwork for that one. It turned out amazing.
Yeah, it was. It's still one of my favorites. Like,
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just telling each other you're doing a great job. It was amazing working with you. Keep doing what you're doing. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up your motto, add that extra. I love that.
Yeah.
How did that come about? And tell us what it means.
Because I'm extra.
Yeah.
Everything I do is loud and extra. But no, that came about because of the way we serve everything. When we come out to an event, I joke and say I have OCD, but I don't. I'm just a super controlling person when it comes to things like that. I like to have all my I's dotted, my T's crossed,
great.
Have backups of backups of backups because you just never know. And I mean, half the time, I meet these brides and they kind of have an idea, but they're not 100% sure of what they want. So then they'll come to me and they'll give me a suggestion and I just put my own twist on it and go, oh, well, what about this instead of this? What if we serve it like this? And it kind of developed from there where it was like, oh, that's extra. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty though, huh? You love it though.
You're like the little mad scientist back there. It's like, yeah, how about this?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm always excited to see what you come up with.
Yes, like the wedding last summer with Kim and Ari.
Yeah,
that was an amazing wedding. And their cocktails were, oh my God. I'm still crazy. I did that. Yeah. Dude, I did that.
So perfect and fitting for their personalities and their colors, just everything.
That's huge. That's the main thing. Like Audrey, you know how to make your drinks, catered to their style.
Yes.
Which is huge. Yeah. That's awesome.
And taste good and look pretty.
Yeah.
Taste good and look
it's their day. You know what I mean? So it's got to be tailored towards them. This is all you, babe. If I can use it afterwards, great. But if not, it's for you.
Yeah. And personally, I mean, as a wedding planner, I could say that your team really always does elevate the whole bar experience from top to bottom.
Thank you.
Yeah. Super simplifies things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much more that goes into the bar service end of things, planning wise, than most couples expect. And
I think most people don't expect for us to go to the level that we do. Yes. And then when I'm constantly calling them and constantly texting them and like, hey, not to where I'm bugging them, but I want your feedback on this.
Yeah,
I want to know,
huge.
are you going to be happy with it? Yeah, it is. And I'm sure a lot of people do it, but I don't know how other people.
Yeah, we don't know how other people work.
So
exactly.
I can only speak for myself. And for me, I'm like, this is your day, babe. You are putting a lot of money into this, a lot of time into this. But
that's I think they really appreciate that. You're reaching out to them and asking for their feedback for their stuff, Yep. That's huge. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Makes it so much more fun for the couple too when they have your guidance along the way. They don't have to think. And
there's a lot of things that people just genuinely don't know. Yeah. I think that you can read so much stuff in magazines. You can pin out so many checklists and go to Pinterest and this and that. But until you're in it and you're doing it, you may not understand how little small things work. Yeah. Beverages, like non-alcoholic beverages. I can't tell you how many times I've talk to brides and grooms about that. Yeah. They have no idea. They're just assuming oh, you don't do everything. I'm like, well, I mean, I can.
You just gotta pay for it.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. This is another talking opportunity,
Yes.
That's so cool.
I really love the way that you work with them and give them that shopping list ahead of time. So tell us a little bit more about how you do that whole pre-planning thing.
A lot of that pre-planning stuff is trial and error, and it really depends on the couple or on the event, period. Even if it's not a wedding, just it depends on what we're doing, how that is, what do they want? How much or how little do you want us to do? Because I can do as much as you want, or I can cut it back and give you just the bare minimum, which I really don't like doing. Yeah. So my checklists are basically a guideline for them because I don't just cut it off at, alcohol and mixers, So I'm like, okay, this is the glassware you're going to need. This is the ice you're going to need. These are
part of it.
Yeah. Any extra floral that we want to decorate your cocktails with, etc. We provide everything. But like I said, again, it goes back to how much or how little do you want us to do for you? How much do you want to do for yourself? Because I'll take all the legwork, for you.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And bringing up, as what James was mentioning about, simplifying and just putting everything together. Can we go into a little bit about your packages, but not break down your packages, but kind of just like people that maybe want to be interested in bartending in the wedding industry, how to create it, how to cater, towards, weddings.
Yeah. If you're going towards weddings, I think of their budgets, right? The budgets that we have to work with. So, and then venues too, local venues, what do they allow? So we started with just a beer and wine package, and it goes all the way up to a full bar. So we had, I should say, 3 packages up until this last year. And then we added a 4th just because the demand is there.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of an in between our lowest and our middle package. And that way it still allows for a couple of cocktails, signature cocktails, but not to where the bride and groom have to, provide a full bar plus beer and wine. Cause it does get pricey. I mean, I love alcohol. It is so worth it. But if your budget doesn't allow it, let me know. And we customize it for you. And this package had been customized and tailored so much that I was like, it just needs to be its own thing. Like we just need to throw it in there. And this is its own thing. So
that's huge.
It really is.
So like what would be the advice for someone that's like trying to figure out how to build their packages?
My advice on building your packages would be, think of what you're going towards, who you're gearing this towards, and then build it up from there.
Yeah.
Always start with the lowest that you can though.
Yeah.
Always just do a beer and wine and then go up from there. And you can just go, hey, it's beer and wine. And then there's liquor. It's one or the other, or I should say, one or both, but it's one of those things where you just really got to read your crowd. And I mean, that's why I try to say everything's customizable.
Yeah.
We have our packages, but you could tweak it any way you want. So for somebody new coming into the industry, I think that they just need to come in with an open mind and realize that their clients are going to be the shot callers and it's not you. So you can educate yourself as far as what to recommend, but it's really on them, whatever they want. So
that's huge. And it comes down to the amount of guests too, right? Like that's a huge part, right?
Yeah.
Like
The number of bartenders you'll need, I guess.
The what?
The number of bartenders you'll need per guest count. Yeah.
Yes. I thought you said gas. That's why I was like,
no, gas.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got to drive. Like
not people.
Yeah, no, the guests determine, like you have starting prices for your packages, right? And then as your guests go up, you go up from there. So like our starting prices are when you just get me.
Okay, that's
or just get one of my leads. Like that's it. There's nobody extra. But if you want champagne service,
more people get in.
Or a separate bar area, right?
Yes, separate bars. 2 additional bars. Like I think a lot of people don't realize that that's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
Like it's not just let me set up 2 full bars. No, we have to break that one down and move everything.
Yeah.
So it's
a lot of work, labor work too.
It is a lot of work, but
that's crazy. So speaking of like, building your teams and building packages, can you give us a rundown of your team? Like your awesome team you got? Yeah.
For sure. You know what? My team is fluid. So I have some staples that have been with me from the very beginning. Mary, Lawrence, and Nina. They've been with me from day one. They were with me before I even started. And I was just kind of talking about it and figuring out, am I going to do this? They were on board 100%.
Supporters right there.
And they've been there 100% since then. We've had some lovely new people that have joined us.
Newbies.
Liz is amazing. That's my girl. I'm like, that's my partner in crime, kind of, in a way. We have a lot of fun behind the bar, and she's really good at talking to people and diffusing certain situations.
That's huge. Talking's huge when it comes to the bar, right?
It really is. You can't be shy behind the bar. You got to keep a smile on your face and roll with the punches and know how to react to things without getting offended or offending anybody.
You got to kind of know what to say. Like, you got to avoid politics, maybe avoid
politics and religion, man.
Yeah,
and even sports. Even sports can get dangerous. Like I tell
the wrong team.
Yes. And I'm like such a diehard football fan that I'm like biting my tongue and gritting my teeth, like,
that's crazy.
Like, I can't talk about this. But yeah, Liz is on there. Jeremy is another one that joined the team this year, and he's amazing. He's a super, super friendly guy, just very, very personable. I mean, he's hilarious too. So that definitely adds that extra.
Yeah, adds that extra.
And then who else is there? We have Jessica Blanco and her husband Eric.
Nice.
They've helped us out on a few, and they're amazing people too. They're really great and they're hard workers. Those people grind like crazy. So
and they can talk.
Yeah, Jessica's like me. She's like such a talker and such a little butterfly. I love her.
Sweet.
I love her. Yeah. I think that's pretty much everybody. Like I said, it's kind of fluid. I had somebody new help me out last weekend, and he might join our team, but everything's we're a family.
That's what it comes down to. It's what it comes down to.
Yeah, we're very tight knit, so we know like okay, we can depend on each other. It's kind of a running joke with me and my husband, like the difference between bars and this kind of service is like. We're like a family. We know each other personally. I'm helping you out. You're helping me out. Like, and it works out perfectly.
That's huge.
We vibe.
It's all about that vibe. It's all about that vibe with the people you work with.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And speaking of which, your husband's a restaurant bartender, right? He's
the bar manager for the Santa Maria Inn. So he was my boss.
Moving on up.
He was my boss, and now I'm his boss.
Yeah. There you go. Started from the bottom now.
Yeah, he's the bar manager for the tap room and for the wine cellar. So he does all of that.
That's cool. So you get to see both ends. So what would you say is there a big difference between the two?
Huge.
Weddings?
Huge. I mean, being in a restaurant and or hotel environment, he has everything at his fingertips. Mm-hmm. It's super easy for him to run to the liquor room, grab another bottle, have everything that he needs on hand or in a gun, on the bar. For us, it's a lot harder. That's why it goes back to me, my OCD, overpacking for everything.
Yeah. Preparations. Weddings.
Half the time I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I have to bring everything, including stuff to wash your hands, including stuff to wash any glasses.
Making sure they have enough ice.
Yes. Oh my God. Ice. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, ice is huge.
That's my enemy right there. Yeah. Especially in the summer.
Has he worked with you on some weddings?
He has. He's done a couple with me. One really big one that was our first really, really big one out at Rava. And
Rava's nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. And I love their setup and everything. So convenient there. But I took him because these were some fancy schmancy drinks. And I needed to make sure that I had aces next to me.
Yeah.
But being that it's a little bit of a distance, that's one thing going back to my team is I try to make sure that they're not too inconvenienced in any way. So the ones that are based in SLO go to North County. The ones that are based in Santa Maria stay south. Mm-hmm. So we kind of divide it that way. And I was like, nobody's going to drive all the way out here with me. But Chad will. Yeah. Lawrence will. Mary will. Yeah. So Chad went out there with me to that one, and he was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I was about to
These
ask.
are beautiful, but this could never be done in my bar. This is just too much. And I'm like, well, this is why people hire us, because they want that personal experience. And,
Yeah, like at a regular bar, you can ignore people or whatever. But when it comes to the weddings, you have to put on that experience.
Yeah, they want that experience. They want to feel like they're the most important things, and they are. That day, they are. You are the most important person, the most important people, and your guests.
Yep.
You guys are the reason we're here. You're the reason I'm working.
Yep.
So
that's huge. So I was about to ask, how did he feel about it compared to where he works?
He liked it. He liked it a lot. It was definitely a learning experience for him. And I think that it kind of opened his eyes a little bit, but not completely. I don't think his eyes were opened until recently. And when he went out to Oyster Ridge with me, and then that was a little bit of an eye opener for him of and he's really good at setting up. He's amazing at all of that.
Nice.
But he was just oh, you don't have this? You don't have that? And I'm like, I do. It's in the trucks. Yeah. This is why I'm telling you.
A little bit of panic.
Yeah, a little bit, because he's just so used to just turning around and it being within arm's reach.
The bar backs and all that.
The soda gun.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have a gun, buddy. Yeah. You got to put this in the store and pour it.
Yeah.
Which I really like your setups all the time. I mean,
thank you.
Really got that down.
We've built it up little by little. It's been an expensive venture, but we're set now. Now we're good. Every year, at this point, every year we just refresh everything. And I've tried to make sure that we have setups, different kits, different setups for each wedding. So if you're gold, we have our gold trim stuff. If you're silver, we have our galvanized tubs. And anybody else that's doing like rose gold or some funky colors, then they get my glass. They just get acrylic or glass. Universal. There, it's clear.
Universal, exactly.
I match you.
That's so nice that you consider that. Their colors
that's that
and
extra.
Everything. Yes. Love it.
That extra. Yeah.
Something else that's really fun that I didn't even know about before you, it's drink tastings.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So not everybody does that, but I do because I make scratch-made mixers and scratch-made syrups. And that's a huge thing for us right now is making personalized mixes. So, you know, like I had a bride recently, her and her husband came down for or fiance came down for a tasting and they wanted spicy. You know, let me get spicy with sweet, or let me get this and this and this. And they didn't want normal stuff. So it was like, okay, all right, I got this. Like, so again, trial and error, mad scientist in the kitchen. Like, I can do this. And there was a few failures, like 2 failures before I was like, this is spot on. This is perfect. But because they're scratch made, it's like, all right, this is what makes it a little more unique. Yeah. If you will.
That's awesome. Would you say that it's, with the tastings, that it's easier to book clients with tastings than without it?
No. So the way our tastings work is you've already booked us.
Oh, okay.
You don't get a free tasting. Your tasting, that is already part of your package.
Okay.
And it's only allowed in our 2 bigger packages that they can get the tasting. Anything else, I kind of just go, hey, visit my Instagram, man. Like there's everything on there. There's if you want a flavor profile, hit me up.
Yeah.
Let me know, hey, this drink was really pretty. What's in it? And I'll break it down for you if it's not on there already. But yeah, they have to reserve us first.
Okay,
I have to know that we got this before I put in all the time of making stuff. You know, and I get to know them a little bit beforehand. So I talk to them a couple times on the phone, kind of ask them some questions to get more of an idea of what they're going for. How fancy do you want to go? Do you want to keep it chill?
Yeah.
Because the tasting's geared all around them. So you got to know them first.
100%. Even names, like drink names.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's, you know, any bartender will tell you there's 20 different names for one cocktail. So it's like somebody can come into you and be like, I want X, Y, and Z. And you're like, I don't know what that is. Oh, you mean an ABC? It's the same thing that's in there. Oh, okay. You know, so it's just, there's so many different things, but if you just put a little twist on it for them, you know,
that little extra.
Yeah. It makes them feel special. It makes them feel really, really special. And it makes me feel good to know that they're happy with it. And this is something that, you know, they can name it whatever they want because they're like, well, I don't want to call it this. And I'm like, well, you don't have to. It's your drink. And name it whatever you want. What do you guys like? We've named drinks after video games. We've named drinks after movies.
Yeah.
I had one of my very first weddings. It was a huge wedding. It was way over 300 people.
Dang.
Wow.
I'm guessing at the final end, it was probably closer to 400. Jeez. It was massive.
This is a concert.
Oh man, it was massive. And it was out in Napomo at some private residence out in the country. So we couldn't like keep track of necessarily how many people were coming, but I was just like, holy moly.
Yeah.
But that one, the groom was really into fishing. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. So I just went off of that and named their drinks. And I was like, what do you think of this? And he's all, I love it. But nobody else got it. But like the couple loved it. Everybody else was like, why would you call it a live well or whatever it was? And they loved it though. It made it personal. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome that you do all that for your couples. That's huge. So before we continue, we just want to take a quick break.
All right.
Welcome back, guys. We're still here with Mixed Events.
Yep, Mixed Events with Audrey. So Audrey, we wanted to ask, like, you know, bartenders always have their personal favorite drink. Everyone, whether it's like Jack and Coke or
Tito's.
Cheetos?
Tito's. Everything Tito's. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so like
sponsor me, Tito's. No, I'm just kidding.
Tito's, where you at? What's yours?
Honestly, like I have 2. Okay. My newest favorite is the one that I was sneaking everybody in from the back of my truck at the wedding games.
Where
were we?
No, that was like your
Y'all missed out.
Dang it.
It's a
Go green team.
Shameless plug. It's called the Central Coast Seltzer. So it's just my own twist on a vodka soda, but it's with a hibiscus syrup and some extra other special stuff that I won't put out there. But it's super good. It's so refreshing and light. And the other one is this one that I made with it's tequila and pineapple juice, but it has syrup is with like ginger and star anise and
Nice.
a little bit of hibiscus, a couple other things that I won't name, but that are amazing. Like the sunrise one and that Central Coast Seltzer are amazing. Like I make them at home just for me.
That's
yes,
awesome. No,
yes.
we got to come over and you can make one of those for us.
Yeah, so we can play
awesome.
some Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat was that. I remember when you mentioned those hibiscus, we got some of those things. Those things are good.
They're delicious.
Those things are good.
They're delicious. I order them in bulk now.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
where do you get them from?
From Trader Joe's.
Oh, Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has
I was
them.
hooked for a little bit.
I special order them from Trader Joe's, and then I found some on Amazon, but Amazon was kind of a ripoff because it's the exact same company, exact same maker, but it's this little tiny package for like double the price. So no, Trader's, TJ's is my place. That's where I get all my
TJ's
ingredients.
where it's at. So like with all the weddings you've been working with, part of, and I know, it's hard to name your one favorite drink, but if you could, like maybe one that you had like most excited about to make or one that was like stood out to you the most, what was like your favorite?
Oh man, there's been a few.
Yeah.
I'm not a big whiskey drinker, but that bold fashioned that I've done it for a couple of events, and that blood orange old fashioned is like amazingly smooth. I kind of did a twist on that for Kim and Ari's wedding. So his was like kind of the same thing, blood orange, but I added rosemary and a couple other things. So it gave it a really refreshing twist to it. But yeah, that's got to be like my hands down favorite because it's a sipper. It's not something you can just. It's not it's dangerous if you're gonna chug them, but it's an old fashioned. Who does that? Like, kind of animal does that?
Yeah, it's not like
you just sip it and it's delicious.
Yeah, the nice sip drinks are nice. It's not like an AMF or a Long Island.
Oh,
God.
Does anybody have those at weddings?
Oh, has anyone had those?
No. We've come close to it. We've come close to an AMF, and it's like an island splash thing. Yeah. It's kind of close to it, but not. I'm not gonna serve that as a signature drink. I'm sorry. Like,
can you imagine?
Yeah, man. There's been a couple that have scared me where the bride's like, "I want a martini," and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know about that." Like, because then I'm the bad guy at the end of the night when I have to like. Be like, you've had enough.
Yeah.
Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm sure you have to handle that sometimes. Like, how do you approach those overserved guests?
It really varies on the guest, and it depends on the type of event it is. But I mean, honestly, I've been doing this for so long. Even before I got into all of this and went back to school, like I used to be a GM for Chili's for a long time. So I learned a long time ago how to talk to customers and clients and making sure that, they understand that where the liability lies. Yeah. And it's really easy for me to diffuse stuff with jokes. So I can joke around with somebody. I'm gonna tell you all a funny story later, but I will either joke around with them or if they're kind of feisty, I just let them like gently remind them that this is a special day for
that's what it comes down to.
Bride A and groom A, this is their special day. So let's make it special for them. Go eat something, come back and see me, and they're, okay, no problem. If they give me a really, really hard time, there's this little bartender trick that we do, which I won't tell you.
Okay, no.
Because I don't want people to catch on to it. But there is a way to go, okay, this is your last one, and they think that they're like woohoo, but they don't. They're not. They're not.
They can't tell the difference what it is.
Yeah, and then after that, it's just like a water with a lime in it. Here you go.
Yeah, so just kind of clearing it up for people that are just starting out. Like, just how would you tip wise to cut people off at a wedding? How would you?
To give out advice for a new bartender, I would say be as nice and polite as possible, but be affirmative. Like, or not affirmative. What's the word I want to use? Like, you want to be firm with it. Not leave any. God, how do I say this? Put the words out there that are kind, but that are firm. Yeah. So there's no mixed signals being given out. You know what I mean? Like there's not like, she said I can come back later. No, just mean what you say what you mean, but do it in a polite, kind way so that you're not messing this up for anybody else, or causing any problems. Yeah, that's why I say jokes. Jokes go a long way, man. If you can make somebody walk away smiling, like, I'm the jerk, like it's like, yes, hey, yeah,
Everyone's like, yeah, jerk.
yeah. You just, I mean, not necessarily, but you know what I mean. Like, you just kind of make it lighthearted and try not to offend anybody. You try to be as nice as possible and let them know, like, it is what it is, man. Like,
and that's what it's all about, just having a good time at a wedding, but, politely just let them know.
Yeah, have a good time, but, reel it in because it is somebody's special day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So speaking of that and, cutting people off, do you have any, like, fun or crazy, memories that are good
Actually,
ones?
I have a couple.
Let's hear it.
This is the one I was going to tell you about, though, is I had my very first bride and groom that needed to be cut off. And that was super awkward and uncomfortable.
Whoa.
But, I loved them. They loved me. So it was kind of a cool, like, it was a lot easier for me to do because, we already had built that rapport over the months prior of talking and communicating with each other. So it was like at the end of the night, them like both hugging me and like, I love Audrey, she's the best. And I'm like, I love you guys too, go eat a donut. Like, so it was one of those where like, I just kept pushing him, and the coordinator that was on that wedding was just laughing so hard because I was just like, go eat. Go eat, go get something to drink. And then the groom comes back up to me with like 2 donuts in one hand and a bottle of water in the other. He's like, Audrey, look, watch me, Audrey. And he's like eating it.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, all right, who's taking him home? Like,
jeez.
But they were fun. They weren't rude. They didn't get nasty. Like it was a fun, like, we laughed the entire time. Like it was easy to cut him off. Like
that's a really good point that you mentioned that, like knowing how to cut off the bride and groom. Like that's huge.
It was tough, dude. I never thought that would happen to me, like ever. So when it did, I was like, oh man, how do I handle this? Like, because part of you, the money maker in you wants to go like, no, it's their day, whatever. But you have a personal responsibility to these people. They expect, that's why they hire you. In part is to come in and regulate that and make sure that nobody gets crazy. There's no damage to property, to anything, to each other. Like everybody's copacetic and getting along at the end of the night and happy. That's the way we want it to end.
Exactly. And that includes the bride and groom.
That includes the bride and groom. I'm sure that was like a first and a last, but you never know. But now I know, like, okay, I just gotta like have donuts at the bar or something.
Just have some food stashed on the side.
Yeah, here you go.
You're just giving garnishes to everyone.
Well, I eat a cupcake. I put a cherry on it.
Yeah, there you go. So another huge one is like tips, bartending tips, like receiving tips. I know the policies could be a little weird between each, like, I don't know how that works. Like, can you explain a little bit?
As far as tips, it's really preference. It really depends on the bride and groom. I have at least a couple per year that have said, like, I don't want you to put a tip bucket out. We have family coming in from out of town. They're all coming in, and whatever. And again, like the bartender, the money maker in you wants to go like, oh man, no. But, you prepare for it in advance. If you're an entrepreneur, you're running a business, you prepare for that in advance. So ahead of time, I'll make sure I let my staff know, like, okay, you're getting paid extra on this day because you're getting your pay plus gratuity, whatever. And a lot of times I will throw them a little bit extra just from the profit in general, because I know that they would make double the amount. If we had a tip jar, we would make a lot more than if we just do gratuity, but it's up to the client. If I completely 100% understand that, because if I had guests coming in, they were already paying to fly in from Texas and Boston and whatever, like I wouldn't want them coming out of pocket for anything. You're my guest. I'm treating you. I get it 110%.
So like with your opinion, you don't have to speak on your side, but so say like they're like a bride's like, I don't want a tip jar out there. Do you kind of like already incorporate what you think you would do into the?
No, we go off a percentage. Okay. So it's a certain percent that we put on there. Typically it's 20% gratuity that we just add on to the total of their package, their contract. Yes, and it's like built in ahead of time. Yeah, it's built in ahead of time. It's part of when I send somebody a digital brochure, it's on our brochure that says, we give military discounts and you have the option to do either, gratuity in lieu of a tip jar. Yeah. It's an option. It's not something I definitely don't push it on the clients. I definitely don't push it onto them, but it is, it's up to them.
It's all about, it's all up to them. That's amazing. What you got?
So, any advice for any bartenders wanting to get into the wedding industry? I know we've gotten a lot of tips from you along the way, but what's like your takeaway?
Yeah.
I think
biggest thing?
bottom line is you have to love what you do. You have to love this. You have to have a passion for it. It's like with anything, you know, it's with video, it's with coordinating, you know, you have to love it. You have to want to be in this industry, have the patience for it, and educate yourself. One of my things with my employees in their handbook is like always be learning, always keep your mind open. If you want to come over and play mad scientist with me, come over. I'll teach you some stuff. I'll show you some things, you know, but always keep your mind open. Don't get settled into a certain rhythm.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, just because you worked in a bar doesn't mean that you can handle doing events. Events are very different and it's a lot more personal. Yep. So I think you have to have that passion. Without it, you're dead in the water.
Passion's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't, just because you worked at like a club bar doesn't mean you can do it. Like you said, at the bars, everything's at your, you know, fingertips.
Yeah. And another thing too is make sure that you're open to collaborating with other people. I think that we're very blessed in this area to have such a supportive community and being there with each other. But the people that come into this community and have that closed mind and don't really, you know, want to put themselves out there, whatever it is, whether they're an introvert or not, like it's just their personality, what have you, you got to be open. You have to be open. You have to be willing to collaborate with people and talk to people. And I mean, like that mixer we held in the fall at Birchwood, you know, there was a couple people that were like, oh, Audrey, I don't talk to too many people and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Just come stand by me. Like, come stand by me. You will. I'll introduce you to everybody.
You'll be best friends with everyone.
Yeah, you don't have to do any talking. I'll do all your talking for you. Yeah. Like, just come stand by me, and I'll introduce you to everyone. I think Anthony Salas is he's a pain in the ass, but no, I'm just kidding. I had to throw it out there. But he's really good at collaborating with people. Tim is very good at collaborating with people. You know, there's a lot of, I think, figures in this community that kind of head the helm, if you will, when it comes to let's put this together. Let's make people get together. Sean, Dasman, Vanessa, and Tom, you know, they're amazing people, and they're all about like, let's get together. Let's stay together. Let's support each other. And it's going to help you be successful. Yep. It'll definitely give you that push to go forth with whatever it is whatever area you want to go into.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The networking is really huge when it comes to making it into probably like any industry.
Any industry, I think it's very important, but no more than ours. Only because, I mean, obviously we're partial, but because we're so spread out. Yeah. The Central Coast is such a large area that I'm down south. We're down south, I think. So like half the people that are in North County, you know, we have to make that effort to go see them or vice versa. So you have to put the effort in, but once you do, man, the sky's the limit. Like, definitely.
Well, Audrey and everyone else, this has been great. We had a blast with you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
For those of you who can't see, we've been drinking some wine.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit of wine. Well, Audrey, next time we hope to get you with like Anessa too. That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
It would be a lot longer.
It'd be just crazy. It'd probably just be a lot of slurring.
I'm glad we did this though, because I think we needed that lightheartedness. And you know, the world's a crazy place right now, but the party never stops. So like, let's just keep it going, man.
Yeah.
With that being said, with that being said, we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a great one.
Dang, that was a great episode. I think I need myself one of Mixed Events drinks.
Ooh, me too.
Yep, Audrey's the best.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I love working with her too.
Me too. It's always a blast.
And she shared some super helpful info too today for all of you wedding bartenders or even aspiring wedding bartenders.
Yeah, for example, it's really important to have a motto that defines your brand. Your motto gives couples a sense of what they can expect and what makes your business pop.
Oh yeah, and I love her motto. Add that extra, it's perfect.
Yeah, it is. Super perfect.
Also, be prepared on how to handle those overserved guests because it's a tricky balance to responsibly serve those guests while keeping everyone happy.
Yeah, I think Audrey got that down.
Oh, yeah.
As always, guys, thanks again for tuning in to the Wedding Vendors Happy Hour. Till then, we'll catch you on episode number 5.